Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Another day, another YouTube video. Today I'm going to review this beautiful E92 M3 from my dear friend Nikolai. We took it to some drifting session. You will, or you have seen it already. Whole lot of fun, but yeah, today a little bit more deeper about this beautiful car. Dream car of mine. I'm gonna tell you now about it, so peace. E92 M3, dream car of mine when I was, well, let's say 17, 18. I had a crush in high school, and obviously her boyfriend had an E92 M3. So there was even more sentimental stuff playing into my love for E92 M3. Now finally I got to drive it, and yeah, I mean, you hear it. It sounds incredible. It's the only M3 ever who had a V8, naturally aspirated, 4-liter engine. This one comes as a automatic, a DCT gearbox, which unfortunately now is making a little bit of problems. Luckily, when we took it to drifting, the car was in pristine, perfect condition. Nico invested a bunch of money into this car because, yeah, those cars unfortunately are not the most reliable. It would be nice to have it as a manual, but the gearbox is pretty damn good and pretty fast, especially for the age. The car is 15 years old. I cut a little bit on it already. Unfortunately, the car does make a lot of problems now. We believe it's the throttle actuators, which is a very common problem for E92 M3s. That's also one of the reasons I will not gonna push this car. If you want to see this car pushed, you gotta watch the drifting video, and they have it all properly pushed. Everything E92 needs to get, which is a whole lot of sideway action. Well, I'm gonna go now a little bit into detail of the specs of this car. It's a GCC car, meaning that air conditioning is working perfectly and you don't have heated seats. What you do have instead is some sunroof, well, not sunroof, some sun blinds for the back. I don't know when exactly you will need it, only when the sun is coming really from behind and sits very low. But this car has it. It's pretty luxurious. It also has this seat bringers, which I only do from S-Class coupes before, or S-Class convertibles. So that's pretty sick as well. It has leather seats. Nico doesn't like them that much. I think they're pretty nice. Of course, the M-Performance bucket seats are the best option you can have. According to Nico, they're at least 10 grand, and yeah, that's crazy. So another pretty cool feature is this steering wheel, which he put pretty new, so the steering wheel looks like completely new. The car has 155,000 kilometers. For that, it's incredible. It's still running, by the way. But yeah, this steering wheel is totally new. It looks totally new, and it does make the interior a whole lot nicer. I don't like the carbon it has, especially because it doesn't really match the rest of the interior. For drifting, yeah, maybe round would be nicer. And also, I feel, at least now after, well, I used to love the steering wheel. I have to say, admit this before. When I had my 135, I used to love the steering wheel, and for me it was the best thing ever to have like a fat steering wheel, which this one is. Now, after being in the M2 with the F chassis, I have to say I prefer this little bit thinner steering wheel. But I guess it all comes down to preference. Another thing that needs to be said is the responsiveness of this car. I mean, of course, it's naturally aspirated, so the throttle response is incredible. When you push it, it just goes and goes and goes and goes. But at the same time, it's not that powerful, so you can stay on the gas for a while and don't exceed the speed limits by crazy amounts already. It's another big benefit of having an older, powerful car. And you can enjoy the sound, you can enjoy the unfolding of the power in a much nicer way. Today I'm not gonna push the car because it's impossible. Well, I don't want to damage it more than it is already. So that's why we're gonna take it chill. I'm just gonna inform you what this car is about, and if you want to see it pushed, you know what to do. Let's talk a little bit about the steering and how the car feels. and everything, which is perfect being in the traffic jam. I can't really say about a fully stock E92 because Nico did change the suspension. He runs now on BC coilovers, which actually feels pretty nice. I mean, you still feel that though that it's an older chassis, so there's a little bit of roll in the car, and also when you drift it, it's not that precise as more modern car like my M2. Generally, even in the higher speed corners, the car grips and sits very well, and it looks good being lowered. The only thing he's missing, in my opinion, a lot are spacers. Yo, a few hours later, we couldn't be bothered, or I couldn't be bothered to film any longer in this traffic jam. Everything happens here at night, so yeah, we talked a little bit already about the outside of the car, but we weren't outside. So first, let me prepare this beautiful trunk back, and let's enjoy this beauty. Yeah, we have to film this now at night because unfortunately I'm leaving tomorrow. I talked a little bit before about the suspension and about generally how low the car sits. You see it now here in its full beauty. I think the car does sit pretty good. The only thing it's missing, I touched on before, is spacers, because I mean the car really looked like it's squeezing its butt like this. I recommend Nico to go chrome wheels on this car. I think it would look absolutely perfect. Before we forget, the most important and most beautiful thing of most cars, at least the cars we like, is the engine bay, which I'm going to show you now. This is the most beautiful piece, arguably, of BMW engine engineering. Let's see if I can make it. Unfortunately, the dampers don't work anymore. BMW V8, what a fucking beast.
S65.
Super sick. S65 engine.
Leaking full of oil.
Yeah, perfect. Probably how the car should be.
That's the only oil leak I have. Really, no, to be honest,
she said.
That's the only oil leak I have at the moment, and it's a pretty common valve covers issue. And as they were painted to not leak, the oil cap started leaking just because it was overpainted, so it doesn't hold well.
That's life of E-series BMWs. My old one had a lot of oil leaks as well, but easily fixed. What also is pretty interesting to me now, if you come a little bit closer, is you have those two air intakes on the hood, and now, just looking now, I understood that one of them is fake. Only this one is a real air intake, and here this thing is closed. I mean, also here on the hood you see that the hood goes up here. It's the most significant thing on the M3, and one of the reasons why I and so many more people love this car so much. I mean, you see it from the far, and even especially in this beautiful color. Back to the hood, let's say.
Yeah, a bump on the hood.
A bump on the hood. Yeah, if I can manage to open it again. You see,
it's really going out a lot, eh? So the hood won't be closed. It won't be closing if there was no bump.
So yeah, I mean, this is still prime engineering. If you compare it with C63 from nowadays, or any modern cars, Audis, man, RS Audis, SQ Audis, whatever Audis with this fake exhaust, this is the real, except the exhaust, which we're gonna show you now, which is a tuning exhaust, which is the craziest thing of it all. Yeah, man, it's crazy how you feel the difference. I mean, this is just a little bit warm, but this one is ice cold. Yeah. Crazy. What is really surprising, how light the hood is. Yeah. I mean, when I opened it the first time, I couldn't believe it, and which is even more crazy that this dampers after 15 years are too weak to hold it, even though it's so light. Another very, very beautiful and futuristic for BMW. I mean, M mirrors existed from the E30, I believe, or yeah, I think E30 had the first one, but the E92, probably the most beautiful mirror in car history. And I mean, it just looks incredibly nice. All of them have this rubber. It's very fistable. I mean, if you have smaller fists than me, probably you could fist it. So next up, we have to talk about brakes, because this, I couldn't believe it when Nico told me. It's a single piston brake. It's tiny. It's a wonder that the car is even stopping. I felt the brakes pretty good, but those brakes are just incredibly small. Another pretty nice thing actually about all M's, until my car unfortunately doesn't have it, is this carbon roof. And yeah, I mean, not only does it look good, it lowers the center of gravity, and yeah, I mean, it's just how it's supposed to be. And because this car is not only a sports car, it's still a BMW. It has 4 seats and it has some trunk space. So let's check out what Nico has in his trunk. We're directly greeted by this typical BMW owner stuff, not to make the trunk dirty, which just looks incredibly ugly. It's gray. It looks like from my grandma from the 60s.
On the camera it doesn't look that gray, it looks black, and I always have a bottle of oil.
Yeah, like every BMW owner should have.
There's some brake liquid,
some oil. This is to close the trunk.
No, this is not. Okay, here it looks gray, yeah.
Nice. Finally, enough talked about inside and outside, I think. It's a beautiful car, but stationary, every car could potentially be beautiful. We need to see if it drives. We should at least have one rolling shot to hear the exhaust a little bit. And I'm gonna ask Nikolai, please, to push it now once in this parking lot so we can hear a little bit the noise of this beautiful V8 before we disappear from here, and we've never been here, so let's go. Will you push it, mate? Just a little?
Throttle actuator is done, so unfortunately...
we talked about that.
Unfortunately, I cannot push it
too much,
but I can. It is like a racing engine, so it is like a proper racing engine, which it is because
okay, bro, enough talking, let's fucking go.
Man, I could be faster than Stick for sure, man, but I'm calling it.
And no, this ain't an oil leak, it's just water from the air conditioner. Nice. Check engine?
No, of course not, man.
What's also pretty cool are these M3 doormats, which you don't get in newer BMWs, at least not in an M2. They have the same problem as I had with my old car, they're just folding out there. But anyways, it's cool that it says M3.
No, but...
So, final thoughts. What a beast, what a beauty. I love this car. I'm already all over Mobility checking prices of E92s or E90s in Germany, and it's crazy how they went up in value. I remember I always knew I could get one for 25k. Now, absolutely impossible. For now it stays a dream car. One day I know it's going to find a place in my garage, and if I find a possibility to import this car, I would. And Nico will sell it to me because it's a perfect spec. And yeah, on to the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and peace out. Ciao.